that was around there invited her. Let's go ahead and roll that.
When I tell you it was heinous, I'm going to have to be careful how I word this so that I don't get in trouble, but I think it needs to be said because I am sick and tired of hearing people say that people of color just need to get over it already because it was so long ago. No, it wasn't. My father remembers his father raising hunting dogs that he would rent out on the weekend for hunting parties, only these weren't regular hunting parties. These big bubbas would set up these almost lemonade type stands during the week and sell these little cards for like, I don't know, a nickel, 25 cents. They were person of color hunting licenses. And everyone who bought them during the week, they would gather together on the weekend with all their trucks and they would round up as many people of color in the surrounding areas as they could find, turn them loose in the woods and set the dogs after them. There are people alive today whose family were hunted down in the woods by dogs. And they raised their children to have a well-earned distrust of white people and of police officers. Because I guarantee you, any of the police officers that weren't wearing the hoods were turning a blind eye. This town, Vidor, Texas, at one time, I believe was known as the most racist city in the United States. It was a sundown town. They had a billboard that said, person of color, don't let the sun set on your
Yep.
And anyone who was not white knew you don't drive through Vidor after dark. Even truckers would avoid that route if they weren't 100% certain that they could make it through before sundown because God forbid they had a blowout or some sort of mechanical trouble in Vidor, Texas after dark because they had citizens and police officers patrolling looking for them. If you were in Vidor, Texas after dark and you were not white, you probably wouldn't be seen again, or at least you wouldn't be seen in one piece.
Black people that was around there invited her. Let's go ahead and roll.
Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Father, Yahushai being named for his one begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, Natasha's truth and will well, and salutations to you, full percent truth and honesty, sincerity. Spread the sop, couldn't know that's the spirit power, Yahushai. This lesson is inspired by this video I came across. And this lady's giving a testimony of how her grandfather used to just round up black people, and do public lynchings and have them mauled to death by dogs. And she made the point is that, this type of violence was not that long ago. Okay? Because if somebody as her grandfather, this woman looked like she's probably maybe in her, could be in her 30s or 40s. So myself, I have grandparents, my grandparents, they're about in their 80s. So think of how many 80-year-old people that are still living right now and how many 80-year-old white people there are. A lot of them were involved in this stuff, man. During the time of segregation and, things that was going on to oppress black people being watered down with hoses. During the MLK movement and stuff like that. This shit was not that long ago at all, man. This is just like 2 generations. 2 or 3. So you got to keep in mind that, this hatred is still extremely there. And even if it was longer, it'd still be there. And this goes to show why the Lord has certain things set up. Because, a lot of these people, they die of an old age, and we consider that old. But it's really a short life, and some of these people, it seems as though as they got away with all these things. Where was the judgment? Where was the justice for all these things that happened to our people? Okay, well, the scriptures give an answer. This book of Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay, so those people that led us into captivity, this is the book of Revelation, the last book. It says they're going to go into captivity. And what is that talking about? Well, what captivity were we in? What was that called? That's called slavery. So these people are going to go into slavery. That's the justice that's going to come for it. Okay, Those that killed us with the sword, your modern day sword is the gun, lynching, every form of murder instrument, they're going to be killed with. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. Well, they're like, well, these people are already dead. How are they going to pay for it? Well, we got an answer for that too. This is the book of Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Okay? So the children are going to pay for it. Well, the first thing the children say, well, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Well, Scripture's got an answer for that too. This is the book of Exodus 34:7. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving the iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation. In the Bible, there is a such thing called reincarnation, and you come back every third and fourth generation. Okay? So once that man passes, basically her grandfather, 3 and 4 generations down, his ass going to be kicked back out of the spirit world and be put back into the flesh. And many of these Edomites that, had a part in the transatlantic slave trade, they're going to come back and be back here during the time of the return of Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And he's going to put them in chains. And he's going to raise up his elect men and raise up the nation of Israel, the elect nation of Israel. The kingdom is going to be getting established. And then Esau is going to go into slavery. Even that woman speaking, that's her future. Even though she's coming across as if she has some type of remorse and sympathy, she's going to catch it too. Because that remorse and sympathy will quickly disappear in the time of Jacob's trouble. All Edomites' true horns will come out in that day. The perpetual hatred that they have for Jacob will come out. Now, you got some of the women, all women of all nations, they lust after power. So whoever going to be the next king, the next nation to be kings and rulers upon the earth, you're going to see a spiritual shift and a law of attraction with all women. And that includes Esau, Edom. The Edomite women, they're ready to get on the team. Okay? They want to have the seed of Jacob inside of them. They want to bear our children. They're not able to get pregnant by their own. They're losing their babies. And their mortality rate is extremely high. Infertility is extremely high. But you get with a so-called black, Latino, and Native American man, and babies come quick. And they can feel the power being shifted. They don't want to deal with their own men no more. They're going to want the future rulers upon the earth. And the spirit, there's a trickle of energy that's being felt of the change. The world knows now who the real Israelites are. The cat's out the bag. The YouTube has been flooded with the videos. Odyssey's been flooded with the videos. TikTok's flooded with videos. Instagram is flooded with videos of us teaching the word. And other Israelites, other camps, even though a lot of them are false prophets, the message has gone out in the whole earth of who the true children of Israel are. And if you're the children of Israel, that means you are the chosen. You're above all people. Okay? And that's in the book of Deuteronomy. Let's see if we can grab that real quick. It might be 6 or 7, or is it 7 or 6? 7. All right, so this is the book of Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy God. Yahweh thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So there's a favorite. There's a chosen race, a chosen identity, a chosen lineage, heritage, and that's the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? And they're not the so-called white people that's over there in our land right now. Those are imposters. Those are out of the Esau tribe called Amalek, the head tribe of Esau, Edom. They're being exposed to how evil and sinister they are. So the power is shifting. Everyone's recognizing. Okay? Got a couple other scriptures, man. This is the book of Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So that woman, shame is covering her. And even got some Edomite men, shame is covering them. The shame is coming out. All the evidence, the history of what they did, the bloodshed for that violence. They're the one nation out of all the nations in the Bible that have a future of extermination because of how bad that nation was. They were worse than all of them. Okay? So, all this history coming out is showing you the violence. Okay, this is the book of Numbers 35 and 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the only way this place is going to be clean and recompensed is that their blood gets shed. And the scriptures talk about how our Savior, when he comes back, so much blood he's going to cause to be shed, the blood will go all the way up, the amount of it, up to a horse's bridle. And it says his garment shall be dyed from Basra and blood. So he's going to do a lot of killing and vengeance when he comes back. Okay? And you go watch that movie, The Book of Clarence. It gives you the visual representation, an accurate version of who was in rulership during the time of our Lord and Savior's crucifixion. And it was these so-called white people, these Edomites. They were the Romans. They are the Romans. And you see the perpetual hatred that they had for our people. And it's the same thing with these police officers today, man. These modern day centurions, modern day politicians, modern day Romans. They got a lot to pay for. It's Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right? Esau rejected his blessing. He sold it over a pot of uncooked meat, pot of lentils. All right. He traded that for the birthright to be future kings and eternity rulers upon the earth. He said he didn't give a crap about it. And the Lord already ordained Jacob to have it before he was even born. And it solidified it when Esau didn't even care about the blessing and sold it. He sold it, man, after he went in hunting his venison. He had the fresh kill. He didn't take the time to cook it himself. He wanted to eat what Jacob was cooking. Impatient. Probably argued with him, all types of stuff, man. Wanted his stuff. So he sold his birthright. Okay? And then later on, when his father was passing, his father didn't know of that transaction. He was expecting to pass on the birthright to his eldest, which is Esau. And all of a sudden, he ready to get it, knowing he already sold it and it wasn't his. And then when it went to who was ordained to go to, Jacob, he got extremely jealous and he wanted to slay his brother Jacob. And today, they want to slay us because we are the chosen and they're not. Okay? That's just it. We're the chosen and they're not. Proverbs 1:16. It says, for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay in wait for their own blood. They lurk privately for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. That's the spirit of Esau, Edom, so-called white people, man. It's just that extreme hatred, man. Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. So our iniquity, our hardcore slavery should have had an end, and y'all continue to do it. Y'all still doing it to this day. You think there ain't this thing in sundown towns now? Please. Go on a road trip. You'll find out. You're filled within that energy and you better not stop there to get gas. You better make sure you gas up to pass through this fucking barren farmland, to make it all the way through to get to the next major town or city. Because you stop in the wrong area, you ain't going to come back out. There's still slavery in some of these really rural farm areas that nobody can really get to for real. And they just been out there living on their own, living off the land, you know. And you still got slaves. Like they're still whipping them and breeding them, you know, forced breeding and knocking their teeth out, torturing them, raping them. There's still plantations out there in the deep rural areas of America. In the South, some of the foreign lands, you still got slaves. They have no idea that they've been freed. They have never seen any cell phone or technology. They just keep all that away from them. And they so far out in the country, there's nowhere to run to escape. They don't know how to drive. They can't get in an automobile. They just out there, man. There's still hardcore slavery today. You know? So, hey, judgment is going to come to Esau, Edom for this. And this should wake you niggas up, man. Some of y'all are so spoiled, you know, and so ignorant, willingly. And you're willing to forget this type of history, and you still got our people going through these things, man. You forget. But everybody's about to find out real soon. When shit is the fan, everybody's true nature is going to come out. All these nations, these heathen nations, their true nature is going to come out. Watch that movie, The Purge, man. KKK, you know, riding by. All these militias that's going to be created. All of it's going to return. Their spirit of perpetual hatred for Jacob is going to return, because there's not going to be any type of consequence or pushback for them doing what they wanted to do, always wanted to do to our people. There's not going to be no police officers you can call to stop them from doing anything. Not going to be no judicial process that they can go to prison for doing something. They're just going to take and kill whatever they want. And cannibalism. Hey, Esau's a natural cannibalist, man. He's a natural cannibalist, and he's a natural momo. So that's going to be out in a big, big way too in the days to come. Watch out for that. You know, so this is a quick hit lesson. Lord's will is edifying. I'm going to close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, Natasha's truth and will well. Citates Jehovah, like person's truth and honest sincerity. Shalom.